Welcome to Beside Bradley. I'm your host, Bradley Bullock. Today we take a look into our guest's biggest role models and influence in her life. Today I'm joined by our guest, Lauren Yeager. Lauren, who has been the biggest influence in your life?
I would say my dad has been the biggest influence in my life because he was a walk-on for the Razorback football team, and he ended up working his way to a full-ride scholarship.
What's the biggest lesson that you've learned from him?
Probably to never give up when the time gets hard, because he worked really hard to get a full ride, and he taught me about to always have commitment and to never give up when the times get hard.
And how has that impacted your life? Why was that important to you?
It was important to me because I played basketball throughout my whole life, and he was actually my coach. And he taught me to always believe in my goals and strive. And I tend to be hard on myself and negative. And so he taught me that even if things don't go my way, if you have a positive attitude, that they can always end up for the best.
Was it ever difficult having your dad as your coach?
Yes, it was, because I always felt like there was kind of above my head, like people like, oh, you're just starting and playing because your dad's your coach. And so I felt like I had to prove to people that I was actually good at the sport that I loved, instead of just you're the father's coach. So
do you think there were higher expectations because he was your coach?
I do think so.
How so?
I think that, oh gosh, repeat the question?
Like, how are the expectations higher for you as him as your coach?
I think he expected me to always work my hardest, and even like other players would have hard times and struggle, and I feel like he expected me to always be like the best and be at the top.
Okay, thanks for joining me today. That's all the time we have. Tune in tomorrow for another Beside Bradley.
Oh God.
That was rough.
Okay, that was rough.
I need to think of. Welcome to Beside Bradley. I'm your host, Bradley Bullock. Our show takes a look into the biggest role models and influences in our guests' lives. Today, I am joined by Lauren Yeager. Lauren, who has been the biggest influence in your life?
I would say my dad has been the biggest influence in my life because he was a walk-on for the Arkansas Razorback football team, and he ended up working his way to receive a full-ride scholarship.
And what's the biggest lesson that you've learned from him?
I think the biggest lesson I've learned from him would be to never give up when times get hard, because as you can see, he worked really hard to earn a full-ride scholarship. And I also think he taught me commitment when it comes to never giving up, and he taught me that even though there may be hard things that you face in life, it's always good to have a positive attitude about it.
Have there been any situations where you've had to put that time and commitment and effort into something because of him?
Yes, I actually played basketball my whole life, and he was my coach, and so that was kind of a fun experience where I really got to kind of see him, like his work ethic, but then he also helped me in means of making myself a better person. And a situation, I was the point guard on the basketball team, and so I kind of feel like I had to become a leader for the team, and he kind of helped me through that.
So what was the dynamic like with him, your dad being the head coach?
At times it was hard, but I found ways to kind of push through it. Like, it would be fun at times, but then also it was hard because I kind of had this chip on my shoulder, like you're the coach's daughter, like of course you're starting point guard. And so I feel like I always kind of had to work to prove to people that I was actually good and like loved the sport that I played. And so through that, he kind of taught me to block everything out and just focus on what I love to do.
So what are you doing now with the lessons that your dad's taught you?
Honestly, it's helped a lot, not just with basketball, but with my personal life. I've learned to work well with people. I've learned to always stay committed to things I start, no matter the obstacles I face. And he's really helped me work well with people.
All right, Lauren, thanks for your time today. That's all the time we have. Join us tomorrow for another episode of Beside Bradley.
Hey there everyone, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Sutton Speaks. Today we're going to talk a little bit about music with our guest Danielle Beeson. Danielle, my first question for you is, how big of an influence has music been in your life?
Music has played a pretty big role in my life. Since I was young, I've kind of been around it. My dad had his own band whenever I was growing up, so it was something that I was always around, so naturally it kind of became a big part of my life.
How old were you when you decided that you definitely wanted music to be a big factor in your life?
Whenever I was 8, I started playing guitar, and it was kind of off and on for years. I still wasn't positive that I wanted to keep going with it, but when I was about 14, that's whenever I started getting more involved. I joined the school band and played saxophone for 6 years. I picked up ukulele, piano, singing. So it's kind of been all throughout my life since I was 8 that it kind of took me a while to really get set into being involved with it.
What other instruments do you play? I know you said saxophone in the band, guitar, ukulele. Were there any other instruments that you were pretty good at playing?
I tried to pick up fiddle. I tried for 6 months and I couldn't actually ever teach myself, but the rest, the guitar, piano, everything else I've taught myself. I started bass guitar whenever I was 16. I think that's really about it.
Could you imagine your life without music?
No, I don't think there's any way that I could just quit it. I don't think that I could sell my instruments and be happy with my life.
Are you trying to have a major that incorporates music while you're in college?
Originally, my plan was to go to Belmont University in Nashville. It's a hard school to get accepted to, but I did. Tuition was just too much. And that was whenever I decided I didn't really want to pick a major that was incorporated with music, because I'm not a big fan of University of Arkansas's music program. That's just my personal opinion. But I've decided that it's more of just a hobby, not really going to be a major.
Alrighty, well that's all the time that we have for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Welcome back. Today we've got a guest in studio talking about her experience teaching dance at Favorites Dance Studio in Rogers. I've got Mary Claire Spivey here with me. Mary Claire, what's it like working at Favorites Dance Studio?
It's a lot of fun. There's never a dull moment, that's for sure. With it being Halloween right now, like, kids are dressing up to come to class. I teach little kids, so they're always funny. I have one little girl, she can't even dance, but she always tells me, she's like, you're the most beautiful thing ever, and always tells me she loves me. So it's just fun, and it's also a good stress reliever being in college and stuff.
What's it like working with the kids that you have there?
So I teach different ages, so I get anywhere from age 3, so they're like cute and adorable, and I can just have fun and play around with them. And then I have older girls who are in high school, and they're like on the competitive team, and so I have to be a little bit more strict with them, and it kind of teaches me as well as teaches them to have discipline.
When did you get into dancing? How long have you been doing it?
I started dancing when I was 3 years old. I started dancing in a studio in Rogers, and the lady who actually opened up Favorites Dance Academy was my first dance teacher and was my solo coach, and has been my solo coach since I was 8 when I started doing competitive. So,
do you have an inspiration? Has anyone really inspired you to get into dance and really push yourself further?
Yes, so my dance teacher, now my boss, Taylor Favorite, she has been my inspiration. She has pushed me. She helped me get into Oklahoma City University Dance School, but then my dad said no, because he said, I'm not paying for you to get a dance degree and then be unemployed, but she's always pushed me to do my best, and so yes.
How has dance progressed you throughout your life? Where has dance taken you?
It's taught me a lot of self-confidence for sure. Just being able to get up on stage and have the confidence to dance, and it's just taught me to have posture, and I don't know.
That's really nice. Anyway, that's enough time for now. Join us next week when we have another really interesting guest. I've been Ben.
Hello, I'm Harrison Heffley. On today's episode of Heard It Here with Harry, we have Kiera Parker. Kiera is a track athlete at the University of Arkansas who earned a scholarship despite moving around a lot as a child. Kiera, where all did you live growing up?
Well, I was born in North Dakota, and then I moved to Alabama, then I moved to Texas, then I moved to Japan, and then I moved to Arkansas, and then I moved to Maryland, and then I came back to Arkansas.
What caused you to move around this much?
My mother was in the military for 10.5 years, and she was in Air Force, so we had to move around a lot. But then after she got out, we moved to Arkansas, and we stayed there for 6 years, and then we moved to Maryland because she got a job in the government, and then I came back here because I was in college.
So you lived on base. What was life like on the base?
Life was actually a lot of fun on base. They always had things to do for kids, and the church, everybody went to the same church, everybody went to the same Boys and Girls Club, we all went to the same school. It was a lot of fun for us kids, and then even for like stuff to do with the adults, my mother would always have so much fun because she was so close with all the people that she worked with because there was nothing really else to do where we lived. So we were always having fun.
During all of this moving, when did you find out that you loved track?
Ooh. When I first moved to Arkansas, my mother's old boyfriend was the track coach at the Boys and Girls Club, and he was the one who came to talk to me and saying, oh, you look like you can run track. So he brought me out there, and that was when I originally first started like actually loving track, like wanting to do it every day.
How did moving affect your ability to practice and get good at track?
Well, I would move a lot. I did move a lot. So I always had a new coach, and having to get accustomed to that coach was always a difficult process. But when I got to high school, I stayed in high school for 3 years, which ended up helping me get accustomed to that coach and ended up doing well in high school, which ended up getting me my scholarship here.
Thank you, Kiera. That's all the time we have today. We wish you the best, and thank you for watching today's episode of Heard It Here with Harry.
That was really good. That was really good.
Hi, I'm Lauren Yeager. Welcome back to Yeager Talk. Today we will be discussing the odd athletic career of a college athlete. Our special guest today is Bradley Bullock. Bradley, how old were you when you first started playing baseball?
I started playing baseball when I was about 5 years old. I joined a local YMCA league, and actually we got kicked out because our team was too good.
Can you tell me a little bit about your journey on how you got to the University of Arkansas?
Yeah, so I started off at a small junior college in Chanute, Kansas, a little farm town. And so it's only a 2-year college. My first year there, though, I ended up injuring my shoulder. I tore my labrum, and I had to get surgery. So I did a medical redshirt and then played out my redshirt freshman year. And then after that year, I played well enough and got a scholarship to the University of North Alabama.
Okay. How did you overcome the frustration of being injured?
Well, it was actually my second surgery, so I had one in high school, so I was familiar with the recovery process, I guess, and I just knew that baseball had been my love for so long that I wanted to do whatever it took to get back to where I was prior. So it took about 3 to 4 months of just hard work and recovery and rehab before I could get back on the field.
What would you say motivated you to work hard when you played baseball?
Well, there's a lot of self-motivation there, but I think my family, they've always been there for me, and they've always pushed me to really strive for what I want to do in life. And at the time, baseball was my biggest passion and had been for so long that I couldn't really imagine life without it.
How have your injuries in baseball helped you overcome other challenges you've faced in your lifetime?
Well, I think when you get any major setback in life, you really find out what you're made of. So you have two options really, and that's to either improve, get better, and get back to where you were, or you can just sulk and kind of accept the situation you're in. So I think I chose that I wanted to get better and try to rehab my shoulder and just do whatever it took.
Was there one person who specifically inspired you or helped you work hard in baseball?
There was actually a pitcher at Neosho. Well, he was a pitching coach, and he had the same surgery as me. And after it was my second surgery, I was kind of down for the first couple of weeks when I found out. And he just talked to me about the whole process and how he was able to come back from it. And that really helped me work hard after that whole surgery went down.
All right, well, thank you, Bradley. Thanks for joining me today, and that's all the time we have on Yeager Talk. I'll see you next time.
Good morning, and thank you for tuning in to Discussions with Danielle. Today, I'll be discussing soccer with my guest, Sutton Mills. When did you start playing soccer?
I started playing soccer when I was about 4 years old, and I've played all the way up until I graduated high school, so 14-ish years.
And what got you interested in playing?
I don't know if I was interested as a 4-year-old. Yeah, I started when I was 4. But my dad just kind of threw me in there, and my dad was my coach, and I was really good, and I scored more than anyone else in the league as a 5-year-old. So I guess I just thought, oh, I'm good, so I should keep playing.
And why didn't you decide to continue it into college?
By the time I was a senior in high school, I'd just been playing for so long and had a few different coaches. My coaches moved me all over the place. I played like almost every position, so I was pretty burnt out by the time I was like 17. And I just envisioned myself playing at like a small D1 school, and if I would be happier playing at a small school, or if I would enjoy like just being a normal college student. So I decided to come to Arkansas.
And was soccer the only sport you played?
No, I played basketball for one season and I got MVP, but I was the shortest player on the team. And then I did gymnastics for a little bit, and when I got to high school, they told me, hey, decide varsity soccer or gymnastics. So I chose soccer because I thought I was better at it.
And if you have kids one day, will you encourage them to play?
I feel like naturally we'll kick the soccer ball around, but I definitely want to give my kids the option to choose whatever they want to do. So I'll probably just like put them in a bunch of activities and let them decide what they like best.
And do you still ever play?
I have not touched a soccer ball since I got to college. I'm honestly scared too, because I don't want to. I want to remember the times when I was good. I don't want to like play again and be really bad. So I probably won't play again.
All right, well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Hi, and welcome back to Hammer Time. I'm your host, MC. Today we are joined by senior band member and frat member, Ben Glodowski. So, Ben, what instrument do you play?
I play the trumpet.
How old were you when you started playing the trumpet?
I started in about the 5th grade, so it's been a hot minute. Yeah, it's been a few years.
And what got you into playing the trumpet?
Obviously, joining in the 5th grade, just like wanting to, carry around the trumpet when you come in and out of school every day. But over the years, it's been more the people that's kept me in the various programs that I've been between high school and middle school and now college.
And what made you decide to join the band at college?
I had a lot of fun in high school band, but I knew that college band would be really different. It's something that I really wanted to try, and after my freshman year, it really proved to me that it was something that I really enjoyed. Getting to interact with fans, getting to cheer on the Razorbacks were really integral parts of the band program that weren't part of high school band for me.
And what made you decide to join a band fraternity over a regular Greek life fraternity here at Arkansas?
So the fraternity that I'm in is called Kappa Kappa Psi. It's an honorary band service fraternity, and the whole point of the organization is to serve and push the betterment of college bands in general. And of course, that's something that really jives with, my motivations. I'm really interested in making sure that the band is prepared to be the best that it can be. And this organization really serves those purposes.
And how is it different than a Greek life, do y'all have a house here on campus?
No, Kappa Kappa Psi is an RSO. It's a registered student organization. It's in the same vein as like Chinese students organizations, Young Republicans. In fact, we have an office that I have to serve office hours in the student union. We exist as a 501c3 to raise funds, provide repairs, provide service opportunities for band members, and social opportunities for the band at large.
Well, thank you, Ben. We'll see you next time here on Hammer Time.
Hello, and welcome back to Kiera's Closet. I'm here with a very special guest who says that sports has a very big impact on his life. Harrison, what sports did you start to play?
I started playing sports when I was 4. I think I started with baseball, basketball, and football.
Okay, why did you choose those sports?
Just really, I think in America, those are the biggest 3, the ones you have the main opportunities to play. And I think my dad probably just signed me up in a local league, and so I got going.
Okay. Did your parents ever play any sports?
My dad did. He played football and baseball at Princeton, and my mom did not. She's not very athletic.
Do you think that he forced you into playing sports?
I wouldn't say forced. He definitely probably nudged me into it, but it's something that I'm glad he did. Definitely, yeah.
What do you play now? Do you play any sports now?
I do. I play baseball here.
Why did you continue to play baseball?
Really, I love baseball. I have a passion for it. It's such an interesting game, I think, and it's something that you learn about every day when you play it.
and I've had surgery, and I think recovering from that, you learn a lot about how much you enjoy the game and getting to be around it.
Do you think that you could continue to live your life without baseball?
No, I don't. I think I would need to be coaching, I could continue to live my life, but I'd rather live a life with baseball in it. I plan to continue coaching, and just being around the game, I think you have a great chance to impact others and change their life for the better.
Is there any advice that you would give a student who wants to be a college athlete?
Yeah, I would say if you think you want to do it, give it a shot, but it's definitely more of a job in college. It requires a lot of passion, a lot of time, and you have to be prepared to balance a lot of responsibilities. Okay, well, that is all we have for you today. Please come back tomorrow in Kiera's Closet.